पश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, now everything is set. Okay, yesterday was a very auspicious day, appearance of His Divine Grace, I see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, who is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charan De, Abhay Charan Aravinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So, I'm very pleased to take today's session instead of the regular Bhagavatam, to use this opportunity to understand more about um, such a great personality. I think some you already may know. Uh, so, before Krishna consciousness spread like wildfire by Srila Prabhupada, there was uh, Simha Guru in India, in especially preaching wide and broad and very strongly. Um, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he appeared in this world in February on the to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. mm, you may know Kedarnath Datta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was known as Vimala Prasad Datta in his early life, and from very boyhood, inspired by his father, he took up to religious way of living. And to tune ourselves to know about the great personality. So let's try to understand a bit of the purpose, the benefit. Yeah. So we know that the role of a spiritual master is to inspire us through instructions and also feel a hope that, yeah, even a fallen soul like me can also attain spiritual success. Um, so, in that regard, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has done immense contribution. mm, And we know, yeah, usually if we are associating even for a moment with great personalities, we understand, they are not from this world. And of course, they also don't have any purpose also in this world. They are always absorbed, always immersed in, yeah, the spiritual realm from where they are coming. Um, in the case of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, yeah. So we know that he is from the spiritual world, and not just from the spiritual world but he is Nayana Mani Manjari in the Goloka Vrindavan, and also yeah, intimate associate of Srimati Radharani. And for such a great personality to appear in this material world, which is mortal, with all the uh, yeah, conditioning and all, yeah, who would prefer to come, unless one who is uh, compassionate and want to make the world sing the glories of Radha and Krishna. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is one of them. We would not expect such a person to come to our level just if he is born in um, Orissa, right? He was born in Puri. Of course, it itself is a holy place. But yeah, in this material world, who would like to come? But out of causeless mercy, he has appeared. Yeah, and that's why it's also not so easy to understand the mood and the instructions of such great personalities, but he exclusively made it available. Of course, his language was very hi-fi, very, very intellectual, especially because those times there was this Vedic philosophy was uh, available or appreciated by highly intellectual class of men. So his English was very high class, and um, yeah. So we can know more and more about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as for our own uh, purification, because by knowing such great personalities, we can appreciate their contribution. Otherwise, and through appreciating their contribution, we understand how much are we indebted, and yeah, and in the process of knowing their life and teachings, the focus should be to do sarana. Anusarana is to follow in the footsteps, and not anukarana is just do it like what he has done. This is not favorable, not good. If we see someone is doing, oh, I can also do it. I can also be of the same level or recognition as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The whole purpose of such great personalities coming to this material world is yeah, doomed. So we should very careful when we are going through the life and teachings of such great personalities, appreciate what is the spirit, what is the mood, and what is the purport of such yeah, such great personalities when they come. And then rather than just anukaran, which is dangerous, or anucharan, anusaran is to follow, and to follow them in the right spirit, we should have anusmaran to always understand the deeper purpose and deeper intent of such nice life of such a legendary spiritual master. Mm. So, and of course, we also have, we may know that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is also addressed as Prabhupada. Mm. In fact, when we are reading very old articles about uh, yeah, even in the Prabhupada Leelamrit, we see a Prabhupada is coming now. Which Prabhupada are we talking? Is it Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, or is it Bhakti Vinod Thakur? Sorry, or Bhaktivedanta Swami, Prabhupada, or ISKCON founder. So there is always some confusion, and in fact, where is this actually Prabhupada is coming? It is said that one who is fully dedicated and absorbed in serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Yeah, in that case, one is addressed as Vishnupad or Prabhupada, one who is at the lotus feet of the Lord in their service. And so spiritual masters were used to be honored with this title. Of course, not every spiritual master or any, only very, very special who are um, understood by their dealings that they have appeared from the spiritual realm. Um, yeah, were addressed in as Vishnupad, and uh, that's why we call Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa. Uh, Parivrajakacharya. Parivrajakacharya means they were not just Ghostanandis, but no, they were not just Bhajananandis sitting in a secluded place and doing their bhajan and their service to the Lord. They were traveling, Parivrajaka, they were traveling acharyas, and uh, have instructed the world how the world should practice Krishna consciousness, understand Vedic philosophy. So, um of course, in Bengal, we may see that one may be addressed also as a Prabhupada, but we should understand that even, yeah, that is maybe of their interest. But if someone is of not of that level, one should not do that. Uh, um, in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya, we can see not everyone is addressed like that. Only very few were addressed as really Prabhupada, as only be very, very outstanding, who have made monumental contribution in the form of literature, or in the form of preaching. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated Sankirtan movement where he didn't just set up only Navadvip, Mayapur as the place of worship, and he didn't move. No, he also traveled all over India, and it is a title which implies the utmost respect for 100% pure devotees who are transparently being via media of the parampara and are really as good as God. That's why we see uh, not everyone is addressed as Prabhupada, and one should not. Uh, this is only a way of addressing or calling rightfully the right person who have taken complete shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, and become a via media of Lord Krishna in spreading Krishna consciousness. And that's why there are a few examples. We can see Prabhupada, yeah, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Rupa Goswami is addressed. He has done so much literature available. And then there is Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. Then yeah, we see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Hmm. So, just like how we say Srila, Shri is already respectable or respectful. Srila is even more revered, reverential, yeah, addressing. And of course, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur disciples, they, I think we have this also a clash of understanding, a Ritvik system saying, okay, no, no, after Prabhupada, no one should give Diksha. And then there are some, um, yeah, challenges to be sorted out to have an understanding and all these things. In those times when Srila Abhay Charanaravinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, or we can say about ISKCON founder. For us, we can maybe address as Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, so that was not appreciated by the disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They were thinking, hey, mm, how can one give the same title like his guru? This was not so much appreciated by everyone, and sometimes uh, sentiments can come in, and feeling okay, usually we don't that disciple and guru are having same names, especially this. So there is always this even so usage of title Prabhupada for ISKCON remains a point of contention, or not so much, yeah, appreciated. um, So people, especially Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur disciples who are god brothers of Srila Prabhupada, they say, hey, do we really need to call him like that? And which especially was used for mm, Saraswati Thakur. Mm. So yeah, so this confusion is coming not because of naming, it is because of feelings that can the same, and especially same title for two acharyas, especially coming one in the same disciple order, creates confusion. But the point here is to understand that we can see both Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yeah, definitely. He is fully empowered and by the mercy of Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. Yeah, so he has come to spread Krishna consciousness like a wildfire and very strong, no compromise. Yeah. His his message was very, very clear. That's why we can see him as Siddhanta. If one wants to, then we can, for that, to understand what is the right thing, right way, um, right thing to follow. One can see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yeah, his mission was very clear. After all the Vedas, and there is so much. Yeah, just like when we go to a mango field, and then of course there are so many mangoes, but more than mangoes there are so many leaves, there are so many branches uh, to really find that one mango which is really ripe and sweet and juicy. Yeah, one would really need to scrutinize the whole space, and then they will can get. Similarly, the whole Vedanta understanding, Vedic philosophy in its all many conclusions. What is the right conclusion? What is the ultimate conclusion? This was not so easy. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was always meditating and explaining the real Siddhanta, the conclusion of Vedas. What is the real conclusion of Vedas is bhakti, devotional service, to practice bhakti, and again not to anyone for any benefit, but only to Lord Sri Krishna for ultimate benefit. What is it? Kevala Bhakti. And non-devotee speculators try to explain these Vedic conclusions in their own ways and etc. They interpret the Shastras to suit their own purpose sometimes. Yeah, that's why we see some gurus come out into light and also disappear, because that bogus, how long can it stay? Um, and they give wrong conclusions. Saraswati Thakur, like Jiva Goswami, expertly presented the real meaning of the scriptures and established uh, the only purpose. Yeah, even what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedaischa sarvam aham eva vedyah, Vedanta krit vedavid cha shaivaham. So, yeah, so Krishna is saying that there is no confusion, but only confusion comes when we have exposure to so many other things and so much, yeah, because we are always hungry of knowledge. We are always hungry of knowing so many things. That is jigyasa, that is inquisitiveness, that is nature of our own self. But this inquisitiveness is leading us to know so many unnecessary things, and we forget what is the real Siddhanta. The real Siddhanta is, as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he puts it very clear, is surrender to Krishna. And of course, yeah, now we have been hearing a lot of philosophy from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, through the teachings, or through the version of a devotee who has made it available. That's why we appreciate the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Hmm? Otherwise, yeah, one may think Krishna is just a human, or Krishna. Come on, there is this Mayavad philosophy which is saying, oh, okay, everyone is God. There's only one. Uh, and or Sahajiyas, they say, hey, Krishna, come on, Krishna and I, we both are friends. The other day when we were in uh, Sachinandan Maharaj Vyasa Puja in Golokadam, there was this Jai Gopal Prabhu. He was kind of activating the crowd, or not activating the participants who were there. He just put a cloth on his like a, what do you call this, chadar? Yeah, of course this chadar was not ordinary like a brahmachari or like a men or prabhus. It was more kind of a bit um, like special with embroidery, golden, and like that. and he just put it and he started dancing around and started inviting Sachinandan Maharaj to come and cut the cake, uh, or to see the cake rather than cutting. So, and in that process, he came like a Sahajiya and wanted to mingle just like anything, like, um, and there was so much dominance of this feeling in those times where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, yeah, he had to be preaching so strongly against these two, mainly these two class of men. Sometimes people were not interested in Vedic philosophy. That's why they create their own emotional way of worship. That they say, oh, Lalla is my son, is my daughter, Radharani, all these things, yeah. And one may do out of bhava. Hmm? Or sometimes they think, hey, I am also from the spiritual world because I have these emotions that yeah, the tears roll out profusely and all these things, and dress like that, become a gopi. Come on, so that we can, when we are physically doing this leelas in this world, yeah, we can also do that in the spiritual world. So all these misconceptions, there are so many apasampradayas that they were there during the Bhaktivinoda Thakur time, which he already has scrutinizingly filtered them out. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, yeah, he was very strong. The moment, that's why we see very strongly in the presentations of Prabhupada in various purports, yeah, and in his lectures, he strongly objects Mayavad philosophy and Sahajiya mentalities and all these things, so that the Vedic philosophy can be revived and revised to its own glories. And so much of his speech preaching was at exposing and correcting the misconceptions and distortions that were there in the Vedic philosophy. Yes, and contradictory. So it's a challenge. Yeah, when we discuss 10 things, there are already two contradictions. When we are discussing 1,000 things, then there are, okay, yeah, more than 1,000 contradictions. So that's why we need an acharya. That's why we need a spiritual master. The role of a spiritual master, as I said, is instructing what is the right thing, and not only instructing what is right thing, but also inspiring one to practice that. So in that way, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur played a very uh, um, critical role for the mankind. And of course, yeah, definitely he's not an ordinary personality who has appeared, right? So even before his appearance, his great grandfather, the grandfather of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, yeah, when he was almost on his deathbed, he was saying there will be a very special preacher, who will be famous in the whole world, would take birth in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. Mm. Indeed, Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself predicted in the Chaitanya Shamrita that a powerful acharya would appear in the world to establish Daivi Varna Ashrama. Yeah, yeah, the world was filled. Yeah, of course, there was Vedic culture where the Vedic culture slowly were, yeah, in the name we may call we are Vedic, but the activities, when they do not uh, are not in line with the Vedic principles, way of living, then we should not call ourselves we are Vedic. Vaidikas, yeah, I don't know if someone have heard, one who follows Vedas, yeah, but what is that? Okay, we are not. If someone is born in Brahman family, doesn't mean that he is a Brahmana. But the caste system and all these ashramas, varnashrama, there is also Asura Varnashrama, which is more interested on how to manage a very nice, comfortable, enjoyable material life. So that is Asura Varnashrama, mm, that disconnecting oneself with the Lord and practicing way of living. Just like every country has its own guidelines how to lived in harmony together. Of course, no country is bereft of such crime. Every now and then we hear a lot of crime. Why? Because these man-made system, which is based on selfish interest, which is Asura Varnashrama, will not give us happiness, and also doesn't lead us to success. So we need this kind of great personalities come in and recorrect the system that is going. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Chaitanya Sikshamrita, he mentions that there will be a personality who will come and to establish what Daiva Varnashrama system properly. Yeah, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted this system. Why? Because otherwise the Sahajiyas were there, all misunderstanding, apasampradayas all were there, and to re-establish, to supplant its decade descendant, the caste system which is based on one's birth rather than all these things. There's so much. If you just think, if we are in the shoes of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we would just think, okay, the world is like that. Yeah, we are just doing the thing. We are not so desperate to call the Lord, oh Lord, please come and fix it. We are all fine. Come on, what? Come on, I am very ordinary. Okay, I myself. Okay, I also have my own interest. I also want to enjoy my life. So all these things. No, we are talking about great souls who have appeared those times, time to time they appear, and they have re-established the Vedic philosophy. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was himself was great. And then um, yeah, um, qualification. Yeah, a religion based on qualification and not just based on birth. Yeah, all these things, these corrections have to be made. And it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his dream that he saw all of oh, not in a dream, sorry. Early in the morning, when he saw on the other side of the river, he saw there was a light. Mm, and when he visited that place, which was very special, there were tulsi leaves, and then he was the one who discovered the original place of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's the place where, yeah, this whole um, yeah, it's in Mayapur, right? So, and it is also his vision that such a temple of Vedic planetarium, or a place the world should come and visit, because that is the uh, yoga peeth. And yeah, so in that way, the contributions of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, yeah, there's so many. And yes, maybe when we take next opportunity, we can also go through who is this Kedarnath Datta, how he was recognized even by Britishers as a great person, and what contributions he has done to the nation at that level, and also mainly to the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Yeah. So and then um, there was this astrologer was called at the time yeah, at the time, yeah, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also proclaimed how the child would become a great devotee. He was born on Feb 6th, which is yesterday, 1874. Um, and yeah, um, very, very sharp. Yeah, of course, astrologically, his Lagna was Karkataka, the Cancer, and was very, very cutting, very sharp. Not just okay, let it be. No, he was very, very. Um, and one time when he was just 5, 6 years old, then when he was accompanied with Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he went to a holy place. He attended, he met one sadhu, Swarup Das Babaji in Puri. And when he went there, at that time, this Babaji, he told to Bhakti Vinod Thakur, um, that you have no neck beads, no tilak, and you are not a Vaishnava. Don't you don't have even dress like a Vaishnava. Yeah. So then at that age of 5, 6 years, Vimal Prasad, yeah, who was yeah, maybe we'll cover that little later. His special appearance. How did he appear? Hmm. He said, my father is a Ajanma Vaishnava. Ajanma means a born Vaishnava. Now we are thinking again, yeah, hey, you are a born Vaishnava. It's just because, yeah, if we are saying born to a Vaishnava family, that's why. No, here we are, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying, my father is a Brahma, a Brahma Vaishnava. Mm. So yeah, and for that, he is born Vaishnava even without outward signs. Mm, not needed. All these things. Upon hearing this, that Babaji who asked, he was so much impressed that such a boy at that age has such a right philosophical point. It is not just only the external appearance that sometimes we might really see. And yeah, okay. Does it mean that we should not have this tilak? We should not have kantimala? We should not have the shikha? We should not have devotee clothes? No. Yeah, not having them doesn't mean one is not a devotee. Which same like having them may not make one a devotee, but having them inspires one to become a devotee, and but not having doesn't mean that one is not a devotee, because here upon hearing, and then this is a philosophical point, and another occasion, yeah, when they went to Dagineshwar Mutt. In that, there was a so-called, yeah, holy man who was seeing them, and he was saying this Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur both look like a Gaur Nitai. Mm. And anyway, so in this way, the identity of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was uh, very much revealing the way that he was. Even at a young age, he was preaching. He would go and preach in brahmachari dress, mm, even when he was a boy. And he used to go to uh, yeah, in wear dhoti with white kurta and chadar, and it's not because, oh, okay, this is the code of dressing of a brahmana. No, he used to go for preaching. He used to meetings in the colleges, students, Englishmen, and other high-class educated gentlemen. In the parks, he would converse with them informally. However, he would especially criticize this group of people who are the Brahma Samaj people. Brahma Samaj, Arya Samaj is okay. What is Brahma Samaj is, mm, have anyone come across Brahma Samaj people? I think there is a lot of protests going on time to time that in the name of Brahma Samaj actually, and they are kind of imitation of Christianity. Um, which was very prominent at that time and followed by many eminent people like Rabindranath Tagore and others. All these people in Calcutta, especially in those times, was so. Why? Because there are so many Britishers and Hindus. You know Hindus, right? What they do is, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we can accommodate, we can adjust, we can compromise our standards so that you feel uh, respected, you feel valued, and or thinking that, no, no, I think Hindu caste system is too much complicated and it's not right, authentic, and all these things. And there's so many who started following Western way to whatever extent that Britishers used to do that those times. And in fact, the Brahma Samaj people in those times, they used to have this Nirakar Tomara Charana Dekhi. I see the feet, uh, uh, but on the same side, I mean, this is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. How is it possible that on one side you are saying the Lord is Nirakar, and at the same time you are saying I see its feats. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to um, strongly preach in those times so that these misunderstandings are corrected. Mm. Um, yeah, that was that was his main mission for coming from the spiritual world. Otherwise, why to take such a trouble when one is already we are ambitious and eager to become an instrument and become a true servant of the Lord in the spiritual world. That's why we are carrying this ambition going back home, back to Godhead. But why is someone at home is coming to the world? That to a world which is not interested in Krishna consciousness, a world which is not taking up to this so seriously. No? But Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared. In fact, when at birth, yeah, it was said that mm on this 6th of February 1874, when he appeared, at that time there was this umbilical cord. mm, uh, that is connecting with the mother. This was wrapped itself around his body like a Brahman thread. uh, and they were leaving a mark which is remained clearly visible throughout his life. This is what is seen. Even as a young boy, um, due to his size and his big brain, Vimal Prasad, Vimal Prasad, he was named Vimal Prasad. Prasad means mercy. And because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur appearance, where did it appear? He appeared in Puri. Hmm. At that time, Kedarnath Datta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in a very lead uh, service. I forgot, is it magistrate or is he governor? I think
Yes, Prabhuji,
magi
he was a magistrate.
magistrate. Yeah, he was such a great person that he was respected by the Britishers so much. At one stage, when I think you went to Puri Yatra recently, someone went.
Yes, Prabhuji, last time I visited.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah, in fact, it is in Puri only, right? Or in there is this. Mm, I think not in Puri, right? Where is this railway track in Mayapur?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is in Godrum Deep in the Mayapur,
In
where
Mayapur. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what, because when we went to Puri, we didn't. So in fact, because he's such a greatly needed by the Britishers, because they want local people who are valued by the local people, and at the same time expert um, so yeah, helping their own uh, services. Yeah, so in that way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was regarded just like um, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana and Rupa Goswami were also um, so much recognized at that time in 500 years back. So why did I refer Bhaktivinoda? Yeah, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yeah. So he was so great that when he said, okay, now I really would like to retire from all these um, services to the British government at that time. No, at that time, British said, no, no, no. Yeah, no, but I have to, I want to be more part of my devotional practices at that time. Okay, okay. Then they have laid a railway track from the house where he lived to the office, only for him, for exclusively for him, so that yeah, his time is valued. So great. They were. Anyway, so here when he was such a great person on the occasion of Rath Yatra, when Jagannath chariot uh, chariots were pulled, and yeah, they were living. We were, I think, Radhika, you also went, right, to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's house. Yeah. Yeah. So this year somehow our fortune that we were at Puri and had darshan of Jagannath ji deity and also so many other Gaudiya Vaishnava places, yeah, significant. So when uh, yeah, when newly born Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he came out, and then on the occasion of Rath Yatra, they brought him first outing and then placed the boy or the baby at the feet of Jagannath. Then there was a garland that fell on him as a sense of blessings and as a sense of appreciating who he is. And yeah, so Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, yeah, was very, very special. Even, and it is said, yeah, he had large head in proportion to his body. His body was decorated with all signs of Mahapurusha. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a description about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Pancha Dirgha, Pancha Sukshma. Dirgha means five, elaborate. Sapta Rakta, Shad Unnata, Tri Hrishva, Pritu Gambhiro, Dva Trimshal, 32, Trimshal, 30, Dva and 2, 32, Lakshano Mahan. It is said there are 32 bodily symptoms of great personalities. Five of his bodily parts are large, five are fine, sukshma, seven reddish, six raised, three small, three broad, and three grave. And in fact, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur form was also very, very special. In its way, it is said that his feet, they were disciples or whoever used to come and touch his feet, they used to feel, wow, very, very soft like butter. So that to those who touched them, it was almost felt as if there were no bones. And his skin was so delicate that even the slightest touch would redden it, which is very, very soft. And he was very tall, like 6 feet, 6.1. Of course, yesterday I saw someone who was like 7.8, I think. He was working for mm, what is this? DF. Anyway, so he was really like a security man, yeah, working in that for security control. So huge, so high, but he was not so mesmerizing. Yeah, he was looking like wow. Yeah, never mess up with him. But not like when we are now hearing the beautiful, tender, brilliant form of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yeah, he was 6.1, 6.2, very tall. He had a slender build and somewhat unusual characteristics about his bodily features. Yeah, so he was, yeah, if you see the photo, you can see him. Yeah, very, very nice. And he was always very jolly. Hmm. Often smiled, but at times very, very grave, very serious. Um, mm, and he used to get up early morning, 2 o'clock, to do japa. Mm. 2 o'clock morning, uh, and while reading, he would sometimes wear spectacles, sometimes, yeah, most of the times not. Yeah. And he yeah, whenever he is speaking, preaching, in that process, when he comes, yeah, when he is glorifying or um, discussing the subject of Radharani, then he used to manifest Ashtasatvika Vikara, even the eight symptoms, yeah, of ecstasy. And yeah, sometimes he used to get freeze, sometimes he used to, yeah, have this profusely trembling of body, faltering of voice, and at least commonly seen by people who attended his sessions, they saw that changing of bodily colors. They would see quite noticeably. Uh, his own countenance would turn white, then red, with his hair standing on end, all these symptoms. Tears would profusely come from his eyes. Of course, he doesn't want, and it's not like Sahajiya's. No, he is emotionally, as soon as when he is discussing about, yeah, his um, Lord, Srimati Radharani, he used to experience that. In fact, it is said, um, mm, there is one who took sannyas from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Mm, He personally saw on two occasions how um, Saraswati Thakur Maharaj's body became red, and all body transformations were also present when he was lecturing about especially Radha Tattva and especially in Vrindavan. So, and when speaking about the instructions of Rupa Raghunath, also his body used to have these special feelings. That means that can help us understand that they are not ordinary personalities. When they are talking, especially in Radha Kund, in Mayapur, in full view of everyone, everyone were seeing what feelings that though he was hiding so many, he was experiencing this turbulent spiritual energies and ecstasies that manifested by being connected to them. Mm. Yeah. So there's no question of sahajiya. Sahajiyas, yeah, the way um, we come across some who, yeah, the difference. Is obvious. Yeah, they're not having the spiritual depth on a shallow note. One may just imitate. No, but here Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, yes, he has spiritual depth of being directly connected to Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he would, yeah, though he was, mm, would be at a level of bhava or prema, uh, and because he has this level of bhava and prema, that's why the symptoms manifested, though he doesn't want. Hmm. I don't know what's the time, but also have to. Mm. Okay, so coming back, and then yeah, we know that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is initiated by uh, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. No, he didn't give this name. He didn't give this name Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. No, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as I said, because of the blessings, yeah, Kedarnath Datta gave this name to Vimal Prasad, who is the third son. Mm, because of, we know in Puri there is Vimala Devi. Uh, and they considered as a blessings of her, and that's why they named Vimal Prasad. But after initiation, usually we have this, yeah, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and not only Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, even in we can see other sampradayas, there is a change of name. Why, what is the purpose of change of name is not okay, now we have a new name to call, but to really, yeah, appreciate our position or our connection with the Supreme, with the Lord. Yeah, one may have a communistic name or whatsoever, or yeah, at the time of birth, one is given a name, and at the time of initiation, which is called second birth, one gets a name to become more focused. The purpose of name, of course, we know is to be called, to be addressed, to be referred. uh, but one can also be given a name, number. Yeah, 101. Sometimes we see 108. Sometimes we have this 786. No one wants 420. Uh, but anyway, all the or lucky numerological name, one can give that names. No, the purpose of just names is impersonalism. Right? No, a person is given a name so that he can reconnect, he can understand the objective of his own existence. Uh, that's why we see a name has its own purpose, motivation for oneself to become that, and not only for addressing or to be called like a tracker. Coming back, so Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji didn't give him any name when he was initiating. Of course, initiation itself was a big thing, yeah, because Vimal Prasad at that time, he was so much desperate to take initiation. At that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, "Yes, yes, you can request and take shelter of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, hmm, who is disciple of Jagannath Das Babaji." So in that way, but no, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji didn't give him any name, and he initiated giving the mantra. But how come from where is this Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Yeah, we have a big name, right? Where is it coming? So Siddhanta Saraswati. So he was already um, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote a famous book called Siddhanta Chandrika. Why? Because at a very young age, I don't remember the age at what time, he already was such a great scholar, and especially in Sanskrit and in astrology, that he could even write books at that time, and very renowned, yeah, scholar at that time, astrologer at that time. And he wrote this book called Siddhanta Chandrika, and in the astrologers community, he that was very much recognized, and that's why from then they were started calling him Siddhanta Saraswati. Saraswati is a title given for one who is blessed by Saraswati, means one who is blessed by um, Vidya, I mean, who are experts in that. That's why Siddhanta Saraswati, that's how it came. Siddhanta Saraswati is not given by Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Later, when he got initiation from Bhakti, so from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, then he added Bhakti himself, because yes, what is the purpose of all Siddhanta is to come to this that bhakti. So that's how this Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and of course Thakur, we know, is addressed as appreciation of great personalities. Yeah, of course. I mean, when I went to Vrindavan, initially I was a bit shocked when Lord is also addressed as Hey Thakur. Radha Raman Thakur ji, Thakur ji ko bhog chadaya kya? I was surprised. What is? So Thakur is means Lord or Master. Hmm. So, in that way, Master also is can be addressed as Thakur, and that's how we see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And now the question comes about why, from where is this Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Thakur Prabhupada. Prabhupada is coming because he accepted this title when in the Vyasa Puja, his disciples, in their offerings, they have written, that was Ananta Vasudeva Prabhu. Yeah? His disciple, he wrote in his writing, and he addressed, like now when we are saying, my dear Guru Maharaj, yeah, to Srila Prabhupada. At that time, when he was addressing, he used the word Prabhupada. And then when it was addressed him like that, then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur accepted it. And since then, yeah, previously he was generally called only Saraswati Thakur, but then everyone started addressing him as Prabhupada. It became gradually accepted. Hmm. And one of his, yeah, he is very strong, very bold in his preaching. Um, with my limited and incapability, I may definitely cannot glorify uh, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But we can understand he used to bring a very sharp um, spirit of preaching, uncompromising, and often he refers the whole purpose of practicing Krishna consciousness can be put in one verse. You may also, if you want, you can make a note of it. It's 12:55. Often he often quotates this. uh, Avishmrita Krishna Padara Vindayo Kshinoti Abhadrani Cha Samtanoti Satvasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim Jnanam Cha Vijnanam Viraga Yuktam. He says, remembrance of Lord Krishna. Remembrance of Krishna's lotus feet. What is it? Padara Bindayo. Uh, Avishrimita Miti Krishna Padara Bindayo. Kshinoti. What will happen? Destroys everything inauspicious. Abhadrani. Cha Sam Tanoti. And awards what? Greatest good fortune. Uh, Satvasya Suddhim. Paramatma Bhaktim. It purifies the heart and bestows devotion for the Supreme Soul, along with what? Jnanam cha vijnanam viraga yuktam, along with knowledge enriched with realization and renunciation. Apart from many, his his preaching um, was based on this. Some may look for jnanam, some may look for vairagyam. Huh? Uh, but this shloka says that remembrance of Lord's lotus feet can avoid all these things. It will remove unwanted barriers, obstacles, abhadrani, difficulties and dangers. And uh, Satvasya, Satvasya Suddhim Bhaktim, Paramatma Bhaktim. So one gets love and devotion to the Lord. Mm. And yeah, and he is an acharya of his times that people were mesmerized by the way that he was leading. Of course, there were people who were unable to understand his supreme um, dealings, but we can see he was emphasizing cleanliness is next to godliness. Yeah, so very very pakka. Mm. Unless unless one is sattvic, one cannot be pure, and he used to make sure that his table, chairs, everything has to be kept clean and tidy, and not only that, yeah, he would bath no less than 3 times a day, not less than 3 times a day. And every time, whenever he takes a bath, he wears new clothes. 3 times means early in the morning after having prasadam and evening before. And without soap or oil, nothing. Just 3 times a day, and that's minimum he used to maintain. And if again, if anything unclean is touched, he used to clean his legs or and feet before doing taking to the japamala. uh, he would do achaman, and always kept achaman patra or achaman cup near to him, so that whenever unclean is touched before doing japa, he cleans his hand and then does it. I've also seen, I don't know, at Ramraga Prabhu, if you have seen Jayadvaita Maharaj, as soon as anything he touches or before doing any devotional thing, he just sprays or cleans his hand and mouth instantly. Not like, okay, yeah, when we go there, then clean.
Yeah, yes, no, yeah. We observed that. I mean,
Yeah. And then not only that, if someone brings Mahaprasad to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, yeah, he would wash his hands, and before Jagannath Mahaprasad is taken, he would actually pay one full dandavat pranam to the Mahaprasad, and not only doing the dandavat to the prasad that is brought, also circumambulates the prasad 3 times and then honors it. Hmm. So and yeah, he used to shave his face regularly, have a head also clean once a month. And according to Hari Bhakti Vilas, there is this special days, I mean, on which a sannyas also has to shave his head. He used to follow all the standards, yeah. Um, and in that way, he used to maintain a very strict lifestyle according to the rules and regulations, and and uh, he used to have very simple dressing, yeah. And only maybe in winters he used to wear this chadar, woolen chadar that is given. And of course, being such a very impactful preacher, impactful guru at that time, so many were bringing so many gifts in the form of shawls or dressing. He used to never buy his own cloth clothes or dhoti, and yeah, he used to, yeah, yeah. And not only that, whenever he sees some people are in need of, he used to give away his clothes in that way. And yeah, his disciples used to serve him, especially when it's a hot sun. They used to hold an umbrella on to protect him from sun. And of course, we are not talking about ordinary sun, not like even in Germany, we are sometimes feeling, oh, very strong. So, and then there used to be one Sikh, Mosha Singh, who used to mm, be a bodyguard of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur at that time. Of course, there were no some life-threatening or dangerous situations, but he used to always be there. And uh, it is said that he used to eat 15 to 20 chapatis. That was his normal diet, which means you can imagine how strong and tall and he was. And but of course, yeah, just not for protection, but he used to be there so that a bodyguard in those days considered, wow, oh, this person is not ordinary, he's very special, in that way. And his preaching was so unique of that times that he would also use horses and elephants on occasion. So sometimes people used to criticize, what kind of a sadhu are you? Usually sadhu should be far from all these things, because going on a horse is a what do you call this? Mm, Sachinandan Maharaj, after his class, he asked, are there any questions? And then he asked, attraction seeking question. Is that right? What Maharaj said? Something like that. Is it that kind of a question, or is it a real question from the class or something? Anyway, attention seeking. Is it attention seeking question? So yeah. So some used to criticize Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the same. Yeah. What kind of a sadhu are you? Here you're having this all these things, and you will have this nice clothing and horses and elephants and all these things. And then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur uncompromisingly he said, after all these things are for sadhus. Real sadhu means they should be used only by sadhus, not by ordinary people. Huh? Not by anyone else. All cars are also for sadhus. Luxurious items in the world are required for Krishna's service and not anyone else. Yeah, very clear. Yeah, all the facilities which are there is for to be used in the service of the Lord and His devotees. Yeah, in His so that's what was very strong. Hmm. Um, and yeah, he was of course when he used to go for a special, I don't know what is this called, occasions. Uh, to meet some dignitaries like in Madras. Then he used to wear a very royal gown, uh, a special gown, and so that people appreciate such greatness. Of course, so that they appreciate. Yeah, they're not thinking, this like a beggar, or like a mendicant, only always relying on what we give, rather than no, to show the value of a sadhu is not less. Uh, so he in those times there were in the Gaudiya Math at that time there were rules not to wear shoes, and milk means drink occasionally, And sometimes uh, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would check to see that the brahmacharis and sannyasis follow this very strictly. In that time, the bead bags of everyone should be in white color. Even sannyasis used to have white color beads, and all these things standards which is to ensure simple living were maintained. Uh, um, and then when he used to give classes, he, of course, when he's sitting on a chair, he sits on chair with crossed leg, not like a, what do you call, Hmm, like a typical sadhu sitting on a wooden seat, which when he gives a class in the temples he used to do, but otherwise, yeah, mm, devotees would sit in front on the floor in front of him, and they used to sit cross-legged, but um, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, yeah, he didn't, was not sitting in the cross-leg. All these things shows one may not. That's why it says one should not think, oh, right, and just imitate. Yeah, he is of such great power. Yeah, and careful to understand. Uh, he had this. If he is doing, yeah, one it might be difficult to understand everything. It's not so easy to understand and appreciate. Uh, of course, he was not an expert kirtaniya at that time, so he used to always allow others to lead kirtan and mm, yeah, so all this is fine. But in that way, we can see the life of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is immensely mainly mm, to begin a revolution so that everyone can appreciate the change of yeah, we know what happened to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, yeah, shortly after the disappearance of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, yeah, in the occurred at Navadvip. At that time, or just before that, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he took a vow of chanting 1 billion names of the Lord. So uh, he arrested himself in a small hut, uh, and day and night he was chanting for 10 years. Yes, I think this happened before. So he took vow so that he took a vow of doing this 1 billion name of japa so that he can get the spiritual strength to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world. Yeah. And yeah, somehow he comes across. Yeah, I think yeah, I think all this was happening. And after that, when he was started the Harmonist um, magazine, and when he was preparing for a strong preaching, he came across this news that Gaur Kishore Das Babaji is almost in his last breath, yeah, and on his deathbed. So then went ahead with plans to plan him in a samadhi. However, due to pressure from people of Navadvip and from one wealthy man in particular, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had to place him uh, in a samadhi, not in Mayapur. Uh, actually, just like the great servants of the Lord, they cherish to be having their samadhi in the holy place. So Gaurkishore Das Babaji had this that he wanted to have this samadhi in Navadvip, but that rich man who was very adamant about this, um, he said, within 1 month, this man will be finished. This is what he said. And it was noted in time how this came in effect. Because this rich man didn't care the desire of such a great sadhu, and then that disturbed Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur so much, and somehow this came out, and then within a month, all his businesses were finished. That man then came, yeah, he came pleading and asked him, please help me, see my position. I made a mistake. And then, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, "What can I do? You have already made a mistake." Huh? So so that is the power. That is the power of words of a great preacher. And in 1932 in Kuliagram, Kuliagram is a Godrama. mm, Saraswati Thakur noticed that because of erosion of river bank, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji's Samadhi uh, will fall into Ganges. Therefore, the body which was inside a box in Samadhi was taken to Mayapur. And that there is a temple and new Samadhi Mandir built there. Mm. Um, our Srila Prabhupada often told a story that demonstrated how Saraswati Thakur actually was in dealing with how strict he was dealing with people who were uh, in contact with women. So this is what wife of OBL Kapoor. You may have seen some good number of books that he has written, who was also a disciple of Saraswati Thakur, requested to see him in private to speak with him. At that time, he was old enough to be her grandfather and was very senior. But still, he said, "No, I cannot see you alone. Whatever you have to say, do so in the company of others." So, Dr. Kapoor revealed how Saraswati Thakur gave uh, the name to his wife without even seeing her face because uh, because there was a screen placed between them. Anyway, so all these things shows that he was not compromising the standards of etiquettes, and made sure that instructing the teachings of Krishna consciousness had the highest priority. And in that, when of course, once he came across Bhakti Vinod, sorry, he came across Abhay Charan, when he was at that time a householder, he inspired him, instructed in a way. Yeah, in the first meeting itself, he said, "Nothing can wait. Yeah, nothing, even independence, Indian independence, what is so important? No, nothing can wait for spreading Krishna consciousness movement." And yes, you are educated, you can spread this in English, and that's where the seed of instruction that uh, Srila Prabhupada received from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then he cherished that, and then he established this international society all over the world, for Krishna consciousness. So in that way, there's so much to know. In one of the conversations, Prabhupada said, "Our Guru Maharaj was so strict, a little discrepancy he would chastise like anything, but we liked it very much." Generally, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was mild in nature, and only once did he ever slap a devotee. This is what it says. Prabhupada used to say this. This devotee had come to Puri to bath in the sea, and when he came back, Saraswati Thakur gave him a slap in the face and said, "Why are you wasting your time?" I don't know. I think this also often we have heard this. Um, that sometimes we go to a holy place, we think holy place means to cover as many places as possible, to take holy dip and all these things. So this disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he went to the sea and rather sitting for a class. In fact, he used to appreciate Prabhupada, that he was saying, "Oh, why have you not gone?" He said, "Yeah, when you are there, everything is here." That's what he appreciated. Once in another occasion, Harinamamrita, Vyakarana, the grammar, Harinamamrita, so Srila Jiva Goswami's book, which teaches Sanskrit grammar and Krishna consciousness simultaneously. Hmm? Um, um, Brahmacharis, they fell asleep in the class, so he took a rod and beat him with it. Yeah. I mean, as I said, there's some very nice um, yeah, when we read about them, how they were dealing, with the devotees. Yeah, that brings his personal touch. And at the same time, though he was bit by rod, he was always appreciative of that. Oh, and once in Mayapur, a brahmachari was sleeping during class. So he ordered him thrown in Radha Kund, saying, I have invited my spiritual master here, but if he sees you sleeping, he will go away. So here it means that when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was giving class, he was actually inviting his guru to be present in the class, to bless the class. He's saying, when my guru is coming, he sees you sleeping. It doesn't look good. Anyway, so I think we slowly got to close. I think at some time, somehow, though we can know more and more. There are wonderful poems that Prabhupada wrote in appreciation of his guru. Yeah, yeah, whenever we have time, we can time to time go read through them. But he has so many nice books like Appearance of Bhagavad Gita. There is Associates of Sri Chaitanya, uh, and Being Guru, what it means, and Bhakti Siddhanta for Gaudiya Math. There are so many works. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there is, but of course, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. Um, 3, 4. I mean, this is what is picked up from Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj um, said, uh, is mainly for information for us, especially for people who are hardcore readers. We want to read more and more and more. He says, he told to sannyasis and brahmacharis, don't keep many books with you. Don't have big libraries. Just 3 or 4 books are sufficient. So one, which means one who is so expert in all literature and Vedic philosophy, he is concluding that just don't have so much and just keep few books. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that there were 4 books that every Gaudiya Vaishnava should read. What is that? Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. If you don't have, please have it. And Dashamula Shiksha by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Uh, Sri Krishna Bhajanamrita by Narahari Sarkar. Narahar Sarkar is an excellent Kirtaniya of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time, that when he used to um, um, yeah, so that's why so this book, Bhajanamrita from him, and Prema Bhakti Chandrika by Narottam Das Thakur. He said that Chaitanya Bhagavat should be read 100 times. Yes, it's a very nice book, but of course, to read 100 times, before that, we need to also understand the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we can understand our Nityananda Prabhu. Otherwise, very difficult. Though the stories are very simple, though it's very simple, the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, but still one needs to have um, one should have the what is it called? Complete shelter. One should really be accepting that as it is without any doubt. Yeah, just like this is. I find sometimes. I mean, there are also some leelas in this Chaitanya Bhagavat. These are some, just like one is not encouraged to read the Rasa Leelas of Radha and Krishna and the gopis and all, no? So which are very sensitive and not one cannot understand them. So better be off from that books. But when it comes to Chaitanya Bhagavat, yeah, one can read to certain extent. Yeah, that the Lord's appearance, childhood pastime, the instructions, all these things. But then there are also some dealings of how these great personalities, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu does, unless one understands the Tattva, Gaura Tattva, I think it might be bit, at least I found it mm, unable to relish. Yeah, unable to relish. And then Saraswati Thakur read both Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat 108 times and told others to do likewise, expecting everyone to do that. Of course, it's doubtful if anyone did, but the idea was meant to read again and again and absorb the mind in Gauranga, just as Mahaprabhu liked to hear the story of Dhruva and Prahlad Maharaj. Saraswati Thakur said to read Chaitanya Bhagavat first, then Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then Srimad Bhagavatam. The reason being, Chaitanya Bhagavat is very easy reading for Bengali people because it has no difficult philosophy and is mostly Leela. Chaitanya Charitamrita is also very attractive with some very difficult sections also. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the language is difficult, Sanskrit. So there is this Jyoti Shekhara. He is a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I'm just reading and I'll conclude after this. Yeah. Once, when Jyoti Shekhar was new in Mutt, Saraswati Thakur asked him if he was reading Chaitanya Bhagavat. When he said no, he told him he should read it early in the morning before Mangalarti at 5 a.m. Footnote: Jyoti Shekhara said it would be difficult for him to read so early because he had a bad cough. Starting from tomorrow, you read from 4 a.m. Read 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. Read it clearly and loudly, and it will clear any cough in your throat. Saraswati Thakur said that the Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, even though in Bengal version, are full of all Shastric conclusions, and he recommended them, along with Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the section on Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Charita, the story of Prahlad, and Kapila Dev's instructions. He recommended all of these to be read 100 times. He did not recommend reading the Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, but Chaitanya Charitamrita, except learned scholars whom he would recommend to read the Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. For the ordinary Bengali, he recommended Chaitanya Bhagavat and Krishna Prema Tarangini, a Bengali version edition of Srimad Bhagavatam by Bhagavatacharya, a disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyway, so there's this whole in the conclusion. I was just mentioning about OBL Kapoor, right? OBL Kapoor's wife was initiated by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Uh, OBL Kapoor, being a learned scholar from Allahabad, the Hindi-speaking part of India, was instructed by by Saraswati Thakur to learn Bengali so as he could study the original Bengali texts of the Chaitanya Bhagavat and the Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. Saraswati Thakur liked other Gaudiya Mutt members who were also learned and non-Bengalis to learn Bengali for this reason. Hmm. So in Cuttack, Saraswati Thakur was searching for Chaitanya Bhagavat in 1920. He searched through many mutts but could not find it. Nowadays, the Chaitanya Bhagavat is available everywhere in bookshops, but at that time it wasn't. The Sahajiyas did not like the Chaitanya Bhagavat and called it a dry book. They like Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. because they deal with Radha Krishna Leela, but Saraswati Thakur published Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Leela. Hmm. At that time, Chaitanya Bhagavat was very rare in India. Even available editions were full of errors. So before Saraswati Thakur's edition, there were no proper one. Once in Dhaka, he told Sundarananda Vidya Vinod to give a series of lectures on Gita in colleges. Although generally he would have people go to Bhagavatam or Vaishnava literature immediately. The books, of course, the books which deal exclusively with bhakti and which are not used by other schools as Chaitanya Bhagavat, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, this goes further and finally, uh, he says his understanding was that the Gita was for people in Varnashrama, karmis, jnanis, yogis, then they may come to bhakti. But in the case of people amongst whom he was preaching, he wanted them to take directly to bhakti. Don't get hung up. This is what he says. Okay, time. Yeah, we have to wind up. Yeah, thank you very much for joining, and let's pray. Yeah, that we seek the blessings of great personality, His divine grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, that may we be instrument in serving his disciple, uh, Srila Prabhupada, in his mission in whatever capacity we can, and have the clear understanding. The whole purpose of all the Vedas and the whole purpose of our practice of bhakti is to surrender to Krishna. With that in our focus, we can attain everything. That's what, yeah, we seek blessings from him. Thank you very much. Yeah. Anyone would like to share something? Yeah, I mean, of course, I have definitely knowingly already missed covering because, yeah, wanted to just give a glimpse of life of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what it means for us.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Uh, Thank you very much for giving the brief life story of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Yeah, it's not very easy to to consolidate everything of his life within this short time, but you have covered very detailed. I mean, briefly most of the important parts. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Prabhuji,
you.
in the beginning you said he was also a Manjari, like the Goswamis, the six Goswamis.
Yeah,
So he was okay.
and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is recognized as Nayanamani Manjari.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Manjaris are not like Shakti
yes.
based, right? They are the uh, um, how do you call the the songs of the or something like that,
Um,
because they are the Radharani's intimate uh, 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 dasis, or
I didn't get it. So,
um, I was thinking like Manjaris are like they are the kind of Sakhis, right? Radharani's
Manjaris are
Sakhis, they are
servants of Sakhis.
servants of Sakhis. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's how we see they appear. I mean, they have their own spiritual identity, yeah, and not everyone reveals their
Yeah.
spiritual identity, but yeah, there are some who get this vision, and when they get the vision, then they can reveal that. No one is going to say what they are. Hmm? And that's how there's this compilation, right? And we see like of course bhakti I mean Srila Prabhupada also we address as he has his own spiritual, yeah, but he doesn't reveal. And of course his disciples later, yeah, they say he is Shakti Avesh Avatar. Yeah, and of course if people start already talking all these things, they may, because of our envy, we may not appreciate them to be seen at that level, because we think, hey, how can that such a great exalted person can say someone rascal or chastise or beat, all these things. Just like how we
Okay.
cannot understand the Avadhutas, we cannot understand the direct associates of the Lord.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you. Okay, good. Have a nice day and see you soon. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Babaji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.